Cheers, COD family. It's Yap time.
Welcome to the new Yapcast today, guys. It's Yap time again. We have today our special guest here, Abdabeast from MFD. He's king in R5. He's also a YouTuber, one of my YouTube buddies, and that's why I know him a little bit longer. I'm super happy he came today to our Yapcast with Wahid here as well. And I mean, the biggest betrayal in Call of Dragons history just happened. And we have today here the person who will explain us everything, when were the plans made. We have so many questions, guys. And feel free, you can also ask. Okay, they said Abda is super low, but I cannot put you louder. Abda, if you can make your microphone a little bit louder, but I have you already on 200%.
Okay, let me try.
Otherwise,
Let me
I
look at the
do
scope.
my volume down. That is also possible. I just go down with my volume, and then we should see it better.
Yeah, let me know if
Says
it's still
it's
bad.
too quiet.
Is he still quiet?
Damn.
That's fine to me.
Does it? What about Wahid? Like, does Wahid sound fine?
Wahid, when you say something, yeah, Wahid, welcome, welcome.
Yeah, I mean, I hear Abda fine. I don't know. You guys tell us.
Yep.
Yeah, Clan knows everything. Was his biggest betrayal someone deleted flags in FS and getting people zeroed with while they slept? That is also true. But I think it is one of the biggest official betrayal where it was announced it is a betrayal, you know? It was kind of with the FS incident towers, no one ever knew who deleted the towers.
Allegedly,
Still
I
a mystery.
did.
Okay,
It was Wahid. Yep.
okay, when you said
Allegedly, I did. I don't know, but
it was Wahid. I mean, Wahid, and guys, normally the Yapcast was planned for 17 UTC today. And then Wahid was Wahid, you can maybe say why we are a little bit delayed today.
oh my god. So for some reason, I thought that we had planned it for later, and I made an eyelash appointment for my lashes to be done at the same time as the Appcast. And so I messaged Princess because she had set this up where, you know, you can see in advance what time it is. And I look and I say, oh my god, it's 1 p.m. That doesn't work. So then I'm texting poor Princess like 2-3 hours before, and I'm like, oh, by the way, this time doesn't work for me. Even though we had rescheduled it like 2 times
Yes.
because of like stuff I had going on.
Because it was normally scheduled on Monday. Then Wahid got a work interview. So we rescheduled with Abda on Wednesday, extra on the time. And she said, sure, Wednesday is perfect. I'm free the whole day.
Well, and now allegedly we're also going to have one Monday, and allegedly I'm free, so we'll see if that stays.
Yeah, and then Abda says and then I was sending Abda the screenshot with the lash appointment, and he said, you know we will be making fun of her.
Yeah, 100%.
Of course. I mean,
It does
guys,
not take me that
lashes-
long to do my lashes, so.
No, but I go and get them permanently done. So
Yeah,
you
yeah,
lay
yeah.
there for like 2 hours. They put each lash on, just glued on to each of your eyelashes. It's a whole process,
Wahid,
guys.
people have no idea what eyelashes mean. Murder was telling me, but when she is in front of the PC, she don't need that lashes and whatever. And I was saying, you need to lay down. They put the lashes one by one on your main lashes. They put
And they
the longer.
tape your eyes closed.
Exactly. You lay
And there's
down.
glue involved. You can't open your eyes with glue. Your eyes would be all stung and it would hurt.
Yes. And you cannot do a Yapcast beside, you know? It's like, that is...
No, and it's a lady doing it. I'm laying on a bed thing. Like, I'm not going to be having a Yapcast.
Oh my God.
Well, now we're here.
Okay, now we're here. We made it finally with Abda, and I have to say so maybe in advance. So there is also the Yapcast next week. What will be on Monday is with Shiso from BTX. There are 4 of there. So we get both perspectives in the Yapcast. Today we start with the MFD perspective. And I would kind of like start Abda at that point. I mean, I remember it. It was, I think, 2 hours before all that betrayal started. You texted me and we were talking about it.
Yeah. So that stuff was brewing a bit, and then it kind of just spiraled really fast into like just doing it. So, like BTX and RFF kind of caught on. I think it started because one of the R4s in MFD started dropping like towers, like cannon towers to try and like cannon off their cities and stuff. Before we announced it and everything. So then I think BTX and RFF caught on, and then they started dropping towers, and then us, Rog, and WoW were like, okay, shit, now we kind of got to do this now. So that it just pretty much happened right there. And then all the chaos unfolded. So yeah, it was really crazy.
So maybe take me a little bit into the timeline. You know, I know that moment when you told me, and then it was still not sure when so I was informed before the betrayal was happened. And what is, for example, what is my commitment always when people tell me something in DM, I keep it in DM. And even if Abda told me you can tell it dark, I didn't tell dark. It is for me, I keep it there because I feel like this is such a sensitive topic and has to stay. And I don't want to be the person who brings something out. So I was really silent. But then it was a little bit more. You didn't know the point yet when the betrayal starts, and then you said, okay, it is going out now. And then we just started. I mean, Vahid and me anyway planned a Yapcast, so we did a little bit a Yapcast when the starting, because we knew it will go, and I extra waited a little bit longer that it's nothing leaked. So, but what maybe let's start a little bit with the history. You know. You sent me also the screenshots maybe from that group chat. Should we put them up now? And you tell a little bit of the
we don't
history?
need to do that now.
Yeah,
I'll just provide kind of like the history between MFD and BTX because it's very new. Because BTX was in like G3 or something, so like they haven't even been in this pool for very long. So basically the history between BTX and MFD historically was very positive. They helped pilot us a lot during multiple wars since they were G3. They were kind of in off season when we were fighting, so they were piloting us a little bit. We also had some people that piloted them in some of their seasons, so we had like a very friendly relationship. They're also like a big community oriented alliance, so you know we had a lot of friends there. They had a lot of friends here as well, so we were very very friendly. And then the first time we met them in an actual season was last season when we allied Echo, and then BTX allied BNR, then we fought each other. So just to remind everyone what happened that season. You know, Echo beat BTX in Zone 2 within 12 hours, because that's important context. And then when Zone 3 opened, MFD and VW, and then Echo as well, we kind of ganged up on BTX. So for the first few hours, MFD and VW was mostly focused on 1v1ing BNR, but then we switched our focus to BTX, and we're able to push through BTX's original defenses. We're able to get Bastion down on their side and like 3 or 4 towers as well. And then BTX made the decision to not fully focus on Echo, so then they turned to us and they started pushing us. So we lost that territory, obviously, and then they started 2v1ing us alongside BNR. And just to provide kind of some more information, BTX destroyed a total of 1 tower on our side. They blamed that on the behemoth buffs, because there was like a 35% behemoth buff. Everyone knows that from last season.
Yeah, that was last season the case.
Just to remind everyone, MFD did drop a bastion. We destroyed a bunch of their towers. So we placed more towers on BTX's side while we were 16 billion power. Our allies were 12 billion power. They were 30 bill plus a 6 billion power ally. So we did more versus them than they did versus us, given the power disadvantage. So that was kind of last season. And then rolling into this season, we still had very good relationships with BTX. At least we thought. We still had a lot of friends over there. Me and Jalals was talking kind of all the time. Like I was trying to defend BTX as much as possible. I wanted them to succeed. I wanted them to be a top alliance. They kind of got punched in the teeth last season, and I wanted them to rebuild and become a top alliance again because I care about game health a lot. The more competition, the more fun that's in this game. Echo kind of ran into that issue for like the past 4 seasons where they were so strong compared to all the other alliances that it was just getting boring. And then now we got EIS, WB that are able to compete with them, and now the game is like a lot more interesting, and that's partially why the top KVK was so much fun to watch and why it was so competitive. And then also Shizo featured in my YouTube video. You know, we were good friends and everything. And then RFF, I admire them a lot. Their activity was crazy. They performed very well versus RAC in that season when BTX, Echo, and RFF allied together. That was very impressive as well, even though they were there was a huge power disadvantage for them. So then we ended up allying, and then we faced ROG, WoW, and A2G. So then Zone 2 rolled in. Everyone got their 1v1s. That was kind of very important for everyone, I think, diplomacy-wise, is we want fights in Zone 2. We don't want to just be farming and everything. I made that very clear in diplomacy that like I need 1v1s no matter what. Otherwise, I won't ally to anyone unless that demand is met. So we fought ROG, RFF fought WoW, and then BTX fought A2G in Zone 2. BTX beat A2G within 12 hours or so. And then we beat ROG within 4 days. And then WoW and RFF pretty much fought the whole Zone 2. It was really, really fun to watch. That was a crazy battle amongst all those different choke points. And then Zone 3 rolls in. And this is kind of where things change a significant amount when it comes to contribution to the season. Because going into the season, end of season rewards were based on contribution. This is how 60% of the alliances conduct diplomacy. I know that because I contacted almost every top alliance leader in the game asking how they could do diplomacy, how they do agreements, and the vast majority of the alliances in the game jump in a call at the end of the season, and then they hash out, how are you going to distribute end of season rewards. That is normally how it works. So prior to Zone 3, I personally believe that RFF deserved it, even though they lost versus WoW. They put up a way better performance than MFD and BTX did. So I personally thought that RFF deserved rewards at that point. And I also used that as kind of motivation for MFD players to fight as hard as possible and to be as active as possible, because if we wanted any shot of that, we needed to do something. So then A2G sets up a defense versus BTX. We start preparing to take on ROG. Our original goal was just to kind of defend ROG, make it to final zone. But then before Pass 4 opened, so before you could invade Zone 3s, we decided that we're going to actually go fight A2G. Reason being is we wanted to try and cut off A2G from final zone. So that's only possible if they're distracted from BTX. Because if I ask any top alliance, is it possible to prevent an alliance that's even 10 times your power from pushing across an entire zone and being able to lock you? The answer should be it's mathematically impossible, because if you're tower layering, if you're doing very minor defense at every single choke, it should literally be impossible for them to flag across the entire map within 4 days to then zone lock you. So if we were to do that, we needed to threaten A2G's Hydra, because those rewards are very good for the EOS and stuff. So that was our goal, is we want to hold ROG, but while we're holding ROG, we also want to get active and pushing A2G, because we had no foothold whatsoever in A2G zone, so we had to push them to create pressure. So that's exactly what we did. So for multiple days, we were fighting A2G while holding ROG. We were threatening A2G's Giant. There were multiple times where we were pushing them, and then our off time came, they pushed us, and then it was kind of just like a back and forth type thing for multiple days. And then another thing is we were fighting in an alliance without any alliance tech, which was Pan. So we were just trading complete dog shit. We had a 35% percentage nerf onto our troops and stuff. So A2G was just farming us when it came to merits and trades and everything. So it was really, really hard. We really had to dig deep. We resource healed. We gave it everything we got. And after a long time fighting them, we were able to push them back to both of those choke points. There was a choke point where there was a spire, and then there was a choke point where there was an actual just mountain type choke point thing. And we were able to push them there. And then we were kind of defending that choke, and then the ROG choke as well. Or I guess we lost ground on the ROG area, and we kind of retreated back to other choke points to drop bastions. So we were able to defend there while holding A2G as well. So then in total, between Zone 2 and Zone 3 up until Final Zone, we were fighting for 19 days straight. MFD got 2.35 billion merits before Final Zone. We weren't really able to rest or reorganize or anything. And then just for those stat nerds out there, people that care about stats, BTX gains 366 million merits in Zone 2. They gained 712 million merits in Zone 3 for a grand total of 1.08 billion merits gained through PvP before Final Zone. And then, like I said, MFD gained 2.35 billion merits prior to Final Zone. And just for more context, MFD is 20.5 billion power. BTX is 24 billion power. They have a lot of high merit earners. MFD barely has any high merit earners. So our merits were obviously really, really hard to get compared to BTX and their whales and krakens and stuff. So prior to Final Zone, MFD fought 5 times more than BTX, and we had the war lead that entire time in a 1v2, which is not easy. That requires extra depth, extra war leading, extra degenning, which most alliances, will struggle with 24/7 for that amount of time. And let's see. And then Final Zone rolls by, and it's a 3v2 versus ROG and WoW. So we're kind of expecting it to be relatively casual. I personally tell RFF and BTX that since we had so many fights, we're down to rest. If you guys want to kind of take the 2v2 for the most part, we're still going to flag in. We're still going to fight if we're bored, but we're not going to war lead at all. We're just going to send mages and do a little bit. And then they were like, that's cool. And so we kind of came in. And then by the way, big shout out to ROG. They really showed up in Final Zone. That was a very impressive performance. I think if A2G made it to Final Zone and ROG performed like that and WoW performed like they did, it would have been a really, really crazy Final Zone. I just want to point that out. ROG basically fixed all of their issues in Zone 2. They fixed their activity. They did really good with war leading and blink plays and ratting and all that kind of stuff. So big shout out to them. And then we kind of pushed out ROG and WoW within a day or two to their choke points, and BTX began pushing WoW's Spire and stuff. So for more context, MFD told BTX that we are not going to fight hard at all. We feel bad for you. You only fought 3 days the entire season. We are going to let you fight ROG and WoW. That's very important. Princess, you can bring up those screenshots now where we said that.
Yes, you want the first one from the in-game?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Let me put that up. The screenshots, yeah. The first one is up now. It is kind of like maybe to clarify it a little bit, that is kind of like the internal Diplo chat, right? Between RFF, BTX, and MFD, yes.
Yes, exactly. I don't see it on stream yet. Am I tripping?
Yeah,
All right, wait, how long is the delay?
Like a 10-second delay. Every
10
time I have to sit
okay.
there waiting.
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, so you guys can see that screenshot. That was in-game, so the other... I couldn't find every single screenshot because I only had like an hour of free time to prepare for this, but yeah, we basically let them fight in Final Zone. That's kind of proof. And then you can show the next screenshot where Shizo says, "Thank you for letting us get the fights."
Oh wait, I have to make it a little bit smaller. Give me one second real quick, because it's kind of not showing everything here. Let me make that a little bit. So now it should be a little bit. And still make it a little bit perfect. More now we have it perfectly arranged.
Okay, cool.
Look at there.
Oh wait, I don't think we can see Shizo's bottom message.
I kind of arranged it. It should be visible on the bottom, right?
There we go.
Yes.
There we go. Yeah. So that's kind of proof that we let them have fun. Shizo said it himself. And then you can pull up the contradiction right now if you want. So then kind of going into diplomacy, right? So we had 2 different calls. The first call was it was like an hour and a half long. It was way too fucking long. I was sitting on the couch with Quokka and we were just like going crazy, like holy shit, like why is this taking so long? Where basically MFD gave our point. RFF wasn't really that interested in EOS. It was mostly just MFD and BTX. So yeah, I mean MFD, we gave all the stats. We were like, we literally contributed 2x more merits. If you're looking at that, we put in 5x the time. There's a 0% chance that you would have been able to prevent A2G from entering Final Zone unless we were threatening A2G's Hydra. Because it's literally impossible if you're defending every single choke, or even if you're not, but you're tower layering all that, it's mathematically impossible to cut someone off from Final Zone. So they needed to be fully occupied on us, and we were able to do that. So all the stats, everything was in our favor. When you just logically think about contribution and seeing that we're in a 1v2 the entire season, or half of the season, and we're able to hold, and we're able to push A2G at the same time, when you look at BTX's contribution and stuff, there's really just no argument on who deserves it. So then BTX were very stiff. In the first call, RFF and BTX admitted that MFD contributed more. BTX just refused to give us EOS because they were just saying a bunch of random things. to why. And then we had a second call that was the next day, and different diplomats were in the call this time, and they basically started criticizing all of MFD's contributions, calling us merit traders, saying that all of our merits are fake and padded and everything. They completely denied anything that we did that entire season, and they were still very adamant that they are only okay if they get EOS or if we agree to a 1v1 or we do wheel. And they specifically said that MFD, RFF, and BTX all contributed the same, which has zero logic whatsoever to that. And it basically shows that there's a couple of options. One, BTX is holding a grudge from last season because they weren't able to push us at all, which I don't understand because I was friendly with all of them. Number two is they are terrified of their whales leaving because they're having so much internal drama with all of their war leaders doing bad and members complaining about the war leading and activity and all of that, because there was multiple times in that season where their whales literally rage quit fighting because of the war leading that was going on. So that's number two. Number three would be they're like they've lost so many seasons straight to where they just feel like they need EOS, otherwise there's going to be other internal drama. And then number four is just straight up ego. Like they don't want to give an alliance that they lost to last season EOS, and I don't understand that whatsoever. But those are the only four things that I can think about.
I'm sorry for interrupting you,
And
but I have one question
yeah,
to clarify. I mean, not
yep,
everyone maybe got the whole history of the betrayal and all the meta what happened there. So we can say it was no dragon agreements, no EOS reward agreements were made before the KVK, and you have to say
yeah.
this
So
is the
it's based on
second.
contribution.
Yeah, but based on contribution is, yeah, what is contribution? You know, you need some stats or some anything you
Yep.
kind of figure out, because then you come at the point, in my opinion, personally, I think a wheel is never a good decision, because I feel like agree to something which kind of who contributes the most or have the highest stats or whatever, and you agree as your allies or together in front of the KVK. And it doesn't matter, I said that earlier to you, if the whole Call of Dragons community think this is fair or not, it doesn't matter. When all allies agree and you kind of write it down as an agreement, that is, in my opinion, the best way to go. Then you can avoid this kind of things, you know?
Right.
But going in a KVK, you never know how it works. I mean, no one could expect that, for example, A2G backed up completely from BTX, went over to MFD and was kind of 2 versus 1 with ROG and MFD,
Right.
and kind of trying. I mean, from their perspective, was maybe the only possibility, if they could have beat you, you know, to maybe win the season. So I do get this, but I feel like A2G did that a little bit late, and I don't know. At the end, they just made it worse for them and were zone locked. So yeah, that is a little bit. Yeah,
of course. A2G. Oh my god, the decision making there is just ridiculous. But yeah, it's crazy. So like for diplomacy going forward for MFD, we are switching things up a little bit. I will say for the 7 seasons of MFD diplomacy, straight up just the jump in a voice call at the end of the season thing worked for 6 of those seasons. Like last season, for example, it was just completely obvious that Echo did it. Like there wasn't even a conversation. Like Echo got rewards. Before that, it was obviously MFT that deserved it. Like we're basically depending on people being very reasonable, looking at the data, looking at how the KVK unfolded, and then just making a logical decision on who deserves it. But that kind of depends, I guess, on who are you allying. Like that's kind of the thing that we need to think about next season is, are we confident that the allies that we're picking are able to make logical decisions at the end of the season? And if we think there's any chance that that's not the case, then we have to just go with a stat-based season. Some the people that are in EIS here probably got a jump scare when you saw Rage stat padding all the deads and everything. That's one of the things that you can't really prevent when you do a stat-based reward system. But it's like, would you rather have that be your issue or have what happened in our season be the issue? And the answer for most people is probably we'd rather deal with stat padding than having to do what MFD did in this season.
Yeah, but for example, I mean, you have to see in that season, I mean, the main reason why a lot of people swarmed stuff, you know, and didn't care so much about stats is because we have the change in the game that we can buy the dead troops back. So this was a big advantage for getting more deaths.
Right.
And I have to say, just from the perspective from Rage and EIS, I mean, we were all in a Discord server and everyone knew the agreement. And in my opinion, it's not even stats padding or anything because everyone can do it. So Rage did it, we did it, whoever.
Yep.
And at the end, we agreed. And I think we had because we had it from the beginning, it was clear when we realized it is not possible that EIS have a Zone 2 fight. And then there was at the beginning a little bit of talk about, will someone do a friendly fight with us or not? But we also agreed that then Rage and WB can fight the enemies and we are sitting it out till the final zone. So based on that, were all the agreements made before when they went into that and it was stats based. So in my opinion, it was fair because Rage knew it, EIS knew it. So yeah, it was a battle and it was clear that we made it stats based. Yeah.
Yep. I fully agree with that. And like you said earlier, like as long as the agreement is very clear in the beginning, which for us it wasn't. So part of the season was just bad diplomacy between MFD, BTX, and RFF on making good agreements and everything like that. That was on all of us. And MFD is also definitely going to fix that in the future. At the beginning of the season, there needs to be a definitive agreement on like how is the reward system going to be used and or be done, and we'll make sure that that is being done. And then Coconut just said something that played this game for 3 years, agreeing 1v1ing, wheeling or voting. I can get into that as well. So Princess and Wahid, I have a question for you. So MFD fought all season long. Zone 2 was our final zone. We used all of our resources, all of our bags and everything. Do you think it's fair to 1v1 for a dragon after we had the season that we had and fight an alliance that is not only 3 billion power stronger than us with a bunch of krakens and whales, but also are full on elixir? Do you think that's fair?
Wahid, do you want to answer first?
I zoned out for a second.
No
Sorry,
worries. Do you want me to repeat? It's all good.
Yeah,
Do you want me to
please.
repeat?
Repeat
Okay,
it after.
so
It was a very confusing question. Okay.
yeah. It's all good. It's all good. So do you think it's fair for BTX to ask for a 1v1 to determine Dragon EOS when MFD has fought for 19 days straight? We have no resources. We have no potions or anything to heal our troops, and BTX is not only 3 billion power stronger than us, but they also have way more whales, way more power, and then they're also full on elixirs as well. Do you think that's fair for them to demand that after we fought for 19 days straight, they fought for 3 days the entire season?
See, and that's where the beginning of the season thing comes in, because I mean, you could have seen Rage kind of make that same argument that guys, like, yeah, we didn't do as much final zone, but we were fighting for like 19 days straight. You didn't have a Z2.
Yep.
So I think it comes down to making the decisions ahead of time. I mean, it's such a hard situation because whatever seat you're sitting in, it's not going to be 100% fair, which is why I think the diplos have to happen in the beginning. Because again,
Yep.
you look back, you look at Rage, they did so much during our season, but a lot of that was Z2. Whereas us, we maybe fought 4 or 5 days versus them that fought 19 days. So I think it just really depends on having that diplo in the beginning and having someone, I guess, kind of fighting that out then. And I know that's hard because you don't know what the season's going to look like at that time. But yeah, I mean, that's a really tough question.
I mean,
I don't know, Princess, if you think.
In my opinion, it is rough because there's one issue in the situations, because I mean, I watched this KVK and I saw what was happening when. So in that KVK was that kind of turn point when A2G completely went away from BTX. So BTX had no fights anymore. We have to be honest, but BTX couldn't do anything because A2G was just focusing MFD. So MFD got all the fights with a 2 versus 1. What was a rough fight, and MFD did a hella good job over there. Even with their shell with no tag and whatever, they had a shell with no tag, did Bastion fights, crazy fights, right? So, and then there was a final zone study. So from the perspective, I do understand both leaders have the pressure from their members, the MFD members saying, oh my God, we gave our everything in this 2 versus 1. And the BTX members saying, yeah, but it is not our fault that that A2G turned away from us and we did not have more fights in that zone 3. So we can now only do final zone. So I do understand that. And then I feel like in this, so when you ask me overall what is the right way to go, in my opinion, a wheel is for me a joke. I would not do a wheel. A wheel you can do when the stats are kind of really 50-50. Then you can maybe say, okay.
We've done that in the past, by the way.
Yes. So
when it's 50,
when it's 50-50 and you have a good relationship with your allies and you say, let's go for luck, and next time you give the dragon back or anything. And there is the only point what I think is a little bit a problem in that situation was that RFF was allied with BTX in the past, and that was that KVKV were against them. And there, Echo and BTX gave RFF the dragon. So kind of RFF owed BTX a dragon. So a vote is, in my opinion, in this combination, also not a good idea. So in my opinion, it should have been a stats-based system, you know, because they have the history together, and RFF and BTX love each other. And that's totally fine. But that's kind of biased as well when you have to vote.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was no vote as well. I know BTX is saying there is like a vote. That's complete BS. That there was no vote.
So, I mean, when we were in the situation after, so it was all like it was. MFD felt it's not fair anymore. There was the legendary, so there was on the MFD Discord, when I remember correctly, was the Diplo chat, right? And this, you rage quitted. What happened there? Because BTX was saying there was a vote, and it was basically BTX
there was no vote.
Voted for BTX, MFD for MFD, and RFF voted for BTX.
Yeah, there was no vote. That's BS. RFF basically said that they think that that BTX deserves EOS. So I left the in-game chat. I kept the Discord open because I just kind of wanted to in a way make a statement that like I'm just not okay with that whatsoever, and that we got screwed over. So I left the in-game chat. The Discord diplomacy chat was open, so if they wanted to, you know, talk more or whatever, that was still an option. And then kind of like I think a day or so later, I sent kind of a big message that basically outlined all the stats, everything that went down, and I posted it there. And then they decided that, well, first of all, BTX was super toxic towards us in the diplomacy chat, disrespecting us. So that kind of just, you know, spiraled things even more. And then after that, that's when the talks about betraying happened, because we did an emergency town hall and we basically asked everyone like, what do you guys think? This is what BTX is doing right now. This is how we're getting screwed over. We literally fought the whole season. Would you rather fight and lose, or would you rather just get completely screwed over with diplomacy? And 80% of the people in MFD decided that we would rather, you know, stop allying with BTX and RFF and fight them for Dragon and lose than accepting what happened. So and I also want to comment on that as well, is there's not a single person that left MFD because of the betrayal, which is a big deal. Normally after this, there's tons of internal drama between a bunch of different people. But since it was so blatantly obvious what happened this season, nobody left. There was only one player that went to Echo, but we knew he was leaving for multiple seasons. So.
Going crazy. They are crashing out about this vote.
Yeah. I mean, and Shai also.
When did the vote?
Yes, Shai already sent me a DM as well when Quokka was saying, I do not know, was that in the Diplo chat or anything, because it was Shai was were asking, answer my question, did it happen or not? That Abda said, we will let RFF decide. And then Quokka said, yeah, something like that happened, but there was a conversation after this. You were still pushing for wheel 1 versus 1, etc. after that conversation. So I think it is at the end of the day. Do you want to put me up that screenshot of Quokka? Maybe you remember it up there where it was, where they referring to.
You can ask Quokka.
Yeah,
I don't know what screenshot.
Because I do not wanna without her. Let me ask her real quick if she's fine from where it is, because without a context, just putting it up. Are you fine? I share this, and she can just say a yes or no. So then we will see. So the thing is, for me, when came the point that you thought, okay, it is enough, and we go into a betrayal? When was that point?
Yeah, so basically as soon as I left the call on that second call, I'm like, that's just fucking ridiculous. So that's when the initial thought came into my head. And then started talking with other people, because like we're just not going to get disrespected on our time. And then also, like I mentioned earlier in the call, like, we were getting disrespected like fucking crazy in that call as well, from Coconut specifically, and then also Shizo. So we're just not going to tolerate that at all. So that's when the initial discussions came by. And then, there's a lot of discussions. We had the town hall and everything. And then I talked to Doomstar, Captain, and then also Vital from A2G. So originally it was a 4v2 in Final Zone, but then Shizo was able to convince A2G to flip to their side. So then it was a 3v3. It was just so much chaos. I specifically remember in voice chat, it was actually like, really funny. Gray Balls was war leading at the time with me, and he was like, bro, when is A2G gonna backstab us and join BTX? I swear to God, 5 seconds after that, Vital sends the message in our diplomacy channel that they're switching sides. I'm like, dude, no way. So that was really funny.
Yeah, I mean, here's Quokka
this one
also.
later.
Quokka was also answering me, and she said, "Oh, only if you also mentioned that it wasn't a vote, and they had further discussions afterward, and they did not agree to anything." That is what she is saying. So that is why I'm sometimes, when you get it out of context, the person who said it has at least a chance to kind of clarify how they mean that. I mean, at the end of the day, I think we will not be able to figure out today. Thanks, Stephen, for the subscribe. We will not be able to find out today, was there a vote or not, because it will always be person. BTX will say there was a vote.
She said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
it'll always be that.
Yeah, and MFT will say there is no vote, and I think the truth we will never 100% think, and
I'll never know.
Yeah, it will be. It will be somewhere. So the question for me is, I mean, make a betrayal like this in the second biggest KVK. It's not kind of like, oh yeah, you just switch sides and that goes so easy. You have to do a lot of talk. So how much prep time did that betrayal take you?
Yeah, we had none, which is really like stressful on me. Is everything had to happen so fast. We weren't able to prepare our members. We weren't able to prepare our leadership. We weren't able to have a lot of those talks. So it happened really, really quickly. But even given then, people showed up. We had a ton of people online to begin with, and it was a lot of fun taking that 1v2 for that certain amount of time while ROG and while we're punching back. But in general, like that fight itself was a lot of fun. It was very refreshing to actually lose. MFD hasn't lost a single season so far, so it was very refreshing to actually lose and be able to play defense and stuff. So it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. I mean, I can't imagine. It was kind of crazy. The moment the betrayal started, we saw it goes in a 4 versus 2. Then 1.5 hours, 2 hours later, it turned out that A2G flipped side and and A2G betrayed as well, because A2G. So, question for me is, was A2G agreeing with you that they do the 4 versus 2?
Yeah. So basically, what happened is A2G agreed with us. So Vital was like, okay, I love the idea, because we hopped into call and everything. And then he talked to his officers. They all agreed. We basically gave up the giant that we were defending from them. So we gave that up. We deleted all the territory, all the defenses and everything, and then let A2G get that. And then they started pushing zone 3 on the BTX side so that you get into final zone. And then right when they were about to get to final zone, that's when Shizo was able to negotiate with A2G, where they gave A2G, I think it was frame or something from Dragon. So then A2G was like,
that
okay,
will probably be in the
better than MFT's, so we're gonna swap sides.
So yeah, because he has screenshots of that when they agreed. Yeah.
Yep.
So, but okay, but that means A2G agreed the 4 versus 2 with you before, and then they kind of backstepped from that. Okay.
Yeah. I don't necessarily blame them though. It was so much chaos and everything. I don't necessarily blame A2G for doing that, but
so for them it was the better deal as well, right, to join BTX, because that way they got frame and stuff like this.
Yeah, they had a better deal. We probably should have thought about that, but so much stuff was happening that it was completely off the table. But also, like, from ROG and WoW's POV, I'm sure they would not want A2G to get any of those Dragon rewards, because they disliked A2G significantly after them pulling out from BTX and everything. So.
Do you want me to show some more other screenshots from the one we have saved? The one with RFF we have from in-game. We have that other from King.
Yeah, just really quick. So the screenshot that's on the page right now, before we showed you guys screenshots where MFD was letting BTX fight in Final Zone, and and get merits because they barely fought all season, so we're trying to be nice and give them merits. And then now Shizo saying that we didn't give them fights, which is complete BS when Shizo was the one who acknowledged us for giving them fights. And then also in the negotiation talks, BTX was arguing their contributions in Final Zone, saying, look at all these merits we're getting in Final Zone. This is why we should get EOS, blah, 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 blah. So this kind of just shows that hypocrisy. Okay, so what other screenshots do we have?
Then we have the one with RFF, the in-game one.
Oh, yeah, you can show that too.
Yes.
And then I'll explain that one a little bit. So this next screenshot that you're going to get is, or that you guys are going to see, is you'll see RFF kind of like, or maybe you don't see RFF asking, but basically RFF was super bored because they were just free burning WoW. So they wanted to help BTX take Spire because they kept failing to take the WoW Spire because ROG was helping and a bunch of other stuff. And then BTX said that it's not necessary, we can do it ourselves. And just a little tidbit, BTX never took the Spire that day, at least. So BTX were basically trying to hog all of the merits and then try and use that to argue US rewards, which is completely stupid and pathetic.
Okay, Frizzy Glizzy is here saying a lot of biased MFD talks. I can tell you, he feels like BTX deserves to be in this call as well. I thought at the beginning if we should put both together in a Yapcast, but I had a feeling that will not work out well. So that's why Abda has today the Yapcast, and on Monday is the Yapcast with BTX. So don't you worry, you get both perspectives, both sides from this. The question is, I mean, when we look at how the Betrayal went, right, Abda, would you do it again?
Would I do it again in that position? I still completely stand by that decision. I think the decision was the correct one. I think getting bullied by an alliance that's bigger than you in this diplomacy than having, two biased allies, is completely unfair. I think our members would do it again as well. Just fighting for 19 days straight, putting in all that time. And it's also like, think about the leaders. Like when you're having to war leading for that period of time is completely different than just playing. It's completely draining. You can't just play when you're at work or anything. You literally have to be in voice chat. You need to be coordinating. Like it's not easy. And we were very burned out from that as well. So when you try and argue that our contributions were completely BS and we were merit trading the whole time and everything and just completely disrespecting our time and effort, then yes, we probably would have done the same thing in the future for sure. But sorry, going forward, this is not an option. We're changing our diplomacy. We're changing how we're making diplomacy decisions as well in MFD. So we are going to be going off a stat-based thing going forward to avoid this problem happening again. So just want to preface that.
Mm-hmm. Do you think the first Betrayal kind of came, people say always MFD were the only one that betrayed. In my opinion, that MFD betrayed. They betrayed together with WAO, RG, and A2G, and then A2G betrayed that 4-1. So there was a lot of betrayal happening. So it was not only one.
A lot of chaos for sure.
Yeah. But I think MFD was kind of like, because they were not happy with the agreement for EOS rewards and stuff like that. I think they were that one who initially kind of brought it up, right? And kind of sometimes my English. What I mean? Kind of started that going into the talks. It was you talking to WAO and ROG and A2G and suggesting that, right?
Right. Yeah. I approached them first, and they're down. I mean, ROG and WoW just love fighting and stuff. They'll do anything to get more fights. So
yeah, I mean,
I loved working with both of those. Also, I want to say this as well. Just huge shout out to WoW and ROG. The way they conduct diplomacy, the way that they communicate with each other when fighting and everything is super, super impressive. Similar to what EIS did, they had like a Discord with all the allies where everyone's in voice chat together. You can relay comms super easily. They were doing the same exact thing that you guys did, and I love that they took charge on that. I love that how they handle all that. So big shout out to them.
Yeah, I think, at the end, it is a learning. You would never start again with allies and a KVK again. In a KVK again, where you don't have to agree to EOS rewards from the beginning. I mean, that is probably the learning. On the other hand, I feel like when we look a little bit how the game goes, my experience is we have a lot of boring KVKs, especially a lot of super boring Dragon Zones. When you just watch, me right now, I had the best Dragon Zone ever. That was a super cool fighting Dragon Zone, but even that was kind of decided in a few days. And so I feel like maybe not doing it as a betrayal. I think a betrayal is definitely not the best way to go. But sometimes thinking about a rediplo to bring a little bit more action in it back. I mean, your KVK this way at least got some action, you know, and some fighting. Otherwise, it would have been boring for everyone. And I think sometimes it can be also be maybe for the future a little bit inspire us that we sometimes have to rethink and redeploy stuff and not just sit there and if we have so less fights in that game, it is kind of like it is really depends so much on map, it depends so much on luck, it depends so much on the matchmaking you get, and it is really rough and more alliances die. So do you think that this betrayal, what happened, kind of what you as MFD kind of started and took over, and you kind of lost the season after that? Do you think that has a negative effect on MFD for the future?
No. Like I said, nobody left. We had one person leave this entire time. There's only one person that left. He went to Echo to play with some Korean friends. Otherwise, everyone else who's leaving is kicked because of deadweight. So there's not really any negative impacts because of this. If we just like if we were in BTX position and we barely contributed the whole season and then we're demanding rewards and then we betray, then it's completely different because they're 100% in the wrong. For us, you can disagree with betraying and stuff. That's completely fine. If that's your morals, then it's if you betray no matter what, I disagree. That's completely fine. But what I hope people understand is that we have data, we have actual reasoning to do it, and whether you agree or not, whether we went through with the betrayal, that's completely up to you. But just understanding that we did it for a reason. It's not just because we felt like it and that we're pieces of shit, and we're just super greedy and everything. It was not about that. So.
Mm-hmm. Let me read a little bit of chat because there are so many questions. MFD was the reason that BTX pushed A2G in their zone 3. I do not get this question from Fob.
I think it's sarcasm.
Oh, okay.
But yes, exactly. MFD was the reason that BTX pushed A2G into their zone C. Correct.
Let me check here a little bit. What about the chat is saying? There's so much. I mean, there's many opinions on that, and I think at the end of the day, that's why we have the Yapcast. It is you can hear that perspective. You can hear the other perspective of BTX on Monday. At the end of the day, everyone can make up their minds. I think there is not a 100% right or wrong in that. It is just like kind of you need to make up your mind by your own. It's a free will. I don't have to agree with anything. I don't agree with betrayal, but if zero agreement in place, I can say I would never do it. Important, everyone has agreement, so everyone works together and not against each other. What Dark's saying? I mean, that is right.
The issue, so again, the issue is, like I said earlier, 60% of the alliances do the exact same thing as what we were doing, where we just jump in a call at the end of the season, then we determine what the EOS are. MFD hasn't really had any issue with that. A lot of other alliances don't have an issue with that. That's normally what Echo does diplomacy-wise as well, is they do something like that. But again, going forward, it just depends like what your allies are. Like if we're allying ROG, for example, or something in the future, we're totally open to doing the same contribution thing that we did this season. But if it's with alliances that we've never allied before or no, then we're just gonna go with a stat-based system. So there's no chance of any drama, and it's just completely data-driven. And even if we get dodged, and even if we don't get a lot of fights, and someone else deserves it, then that's it. But there needs to be a concrete agreement set in place at the beginning of the season. That's kind of the learning curve to this situation. So.
Paradise saying, maybe let's talk about BTX R5 saying we are playing like bees just because we pushed A to G zone 2 while they were pushing zone 3, calling your allies B is fine too, or what?
Yeah, again, it leads to the amount of disrespect and okay, the first call was fine.
Do we need a screenshot for that or not? I mean, we have still 3 screenshots from the King. We have one from the game, that in-game, that small one with the reds, and then we have
that kind of has to do with our defense style. We can kind of go into more of the actual fight.
Yeah, okay.
If we want. Oh, let me send you a video actually of one of the craziest moments.
I cannot put up videos. I need to know that before.
Ooh,
If you want to give me a
okay.
video, and I need to prep it before that we start a stream.
No worries, no worries. Wait, could you like watch like a YouTube video and pull it up? Is that possible?
No.
Is that easy?
No, it's not
No?
easy because
Okay.
I have not here arranged it, and then it's kind of like weird. So I have to
Gotcha.
get the window and everything, and that kind of can mess up the whole stream. I did that one time. I never do that again.
Okay, gotcha. One of the craziest moments though that I've ever experienced was when we were fighting. Oh wait, can I send you a report at least?
Yeah, sure. You can pick pictures. You
Okay.
can send screenshots. It's no problem. I can all put them up.
Okay, cool. I'll try and find that report. But basically, for context, one of the craziest fights that I've ever experienced was when we were 1v2 versus BTX and RFF, and RFF popped fog at, I think, yeah, we were rallying their bastion. And they popped fog so that they could have field there, and we were rallying their bastion. And basically, what happened is BTX sent 3 counter rallies, and they brought like 100 cabs to swarm our rally, and then RFF swarmed as well, and our rally survived. Through all of that, and then the game servers crashed. I've never experienced that before. But the whole servers crashed. It said server maintenance and everything for like 5 seconds, and then the rally disbanded automatically. It was so sad. And WoW were literally 30 seconds away from staffing, and we probably would have killed their bastion. It was really, really sad. Let me find the report.
So do we have any screenshot? But kind of because MFD is kind of claiming the insulting happened before the betrayal, and I see here the chat is there's one side saying MFD was insulted before, and BTX is claiming we didn't insult before the betrayal.
I mean, I guess that's just a he said, she said thing, but in the voice call, in the second voice call especially, there was so much disrespect thrown our way, in the call specifically, and then also after I sent the message, after the call, BTX were just trying to grill the shit out of us in the diplomacy channel as well. So. And I know someone mentioned it in the chat earlier. It's a matter of not taking disrespect from allies, but also, sticking up for our members, their time, what they contributed, and everything. And that was the main thing. So I sent you the report.
Yes, I have the report put up here. Yeah, with Mr. Roboto, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was probably one of the craziest fights ever. So like I said earlier, RFF were swarming. BTX sent like 100 cabs plus 3 counter rallies, and we were able to keep the rally alive and everything. And you can see the trades. It was just absolutely disgusting. Also, Roboto his pet is a Monster Hawk with advanced CS on it, fully maxed and everything. So.
I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, BTX has the opportunity on Monday coming up with their screenshots and stuff like this, what they have. But at the end, we can never say who is 100% correct, because no one has recorded the voice call when it was about that vote. Was the vote there or was no vote? I think for the future, I mean, Wahid, maybe you can tell your opinion. Should betrayals be in the game, or are they a no-go?
You know what? I would say a no-go. And the reason that I say that, and I know, Abda, you're in a terrible spot with how this all went down, is just because it has like this connotation to it. Like, once you're associated with betrayal, you'll always be associated with betrayal. And so even if people don't know the context, they just think like MFD betrayal. So I don't know that I would necessarily do it. I think that I'd probably be like, hey, you know what? This season sucked. I didn't get what I should have gotten. I'm just not going to ally them again. But that would be my thing. I mean, everyone has to make their own decision and what they feel is best for their members when you're in R5.
Yep. No, I agree. Like, betrayal, I've always been incredibly against it and everything. Never even considered that in all of my years of leading, but in this one, it was very prominent that this is a real possibility, and as long as there's no damage to MFD, then we're gonna do it, and there wasn't any damage to MFD in the long run.
I mean,
I'm
the only
very
damage you had
confident.
that you kind of missed out the EOS rewards for the gear sentry, what you have normally gotten, right? That is probably what.
It was never about that. It was
Yeah.
never about that. It was about getting completely disrespected. And that was the biggest thing. And MFD members' feelings was we'd rather fight and lose than, stay with these guys because of the amount of disrespect and waste of our time. Because also, what if BTX's diplomacy is like this, they're basically telling us that if you're gonna ally BTX in the future and you try, you're gonna get punished for that. So if BTX were gonna do this diplomacy to us, just tell us. We'll just fight ROG and we won't try at all the rest of the season. If you're just gonna take EOS from us, we're not gonna try. But you need to tell us that in advance. So first of all, we don't ally you. Second of all, we don't waste all of this time, resources, and money fighting a fight that's completely useless. So it's a worse look on BTX than us. I'm confident in my relationships with other leaders. I've had tons of conversations with people. But the biggest thing going forward is just making sure there's very clear agreements at the beginning of the season to prevent this from happening. So
all you can do, I mean, at the end of the day, right, is just learn from it and make sure there's an agreement. And I guess this is a good, story for anyone else, any other alliances out there, especially ones that are kind of coming up in the newer kingdoms that don't have the experience, to show that, figuring this out, making sure everything's in writing, that everything's, written down and shown, and, it's important.
Yep.
And the
if
thing
there's
is,
any
it is
advice
kind
that
of
I
for
could
the
give to other
reputation.
people,
Yeah.
is exactly that. Exactly that. Is there needs to be clear agreements at the beginning. Having a season where you're not fighting a lot, but you lose EOS due to stats or whatever the original agreement is, that's better than having a situation that we had in this season. So I highly recommend, switching to that. But then again, like I said, like the contribution thing can work if you're allying people that you know and that you trust. But if you don't do that, then doing that system is not smart at all because.
But you can avoid it, when you have a stats-based system, you can just avoid that it comes up for whatever reason. And it feels like it keeps also the relationship between your allies when you both agree to that, and then no one can complain after. And I feel like this is how we always did it in EIS, and I feel like, and also the members know in advance what is going to happen. The members, it's also for them very good because they know, if we don't achieve this or this, then the allies get the rewards or this, that's just like an agreement. And I feel like this would have helped so much. So in my opinion, I do totally agree. Overall, Betrayals kind of mess up KVKs. In this KVK, I see it on one point a little bit different because at least you all got fights and fun again. And I think even BTX and everyone said that at the end, they had hella fun in that final zone. That was no one expected anymore. So it can have, but yeah, it should, for example, it should not screw over KVKs or something like this. So, and I think we all can learn from that, right?
Yep, for sure. And then once again, there's no negative effects with MFD when it comes to this really at all. So it hasn't hurt our recruitment at all. We're kicking 39 people. We're taking in, another 3 billion power as well. Diplomacy wise, I'm chill with pretty much everyone. So
maybe
there's really no negative things. The only thing that is negative from this is BTX's image when you see them all crying in the COD Discord spamming memes that make no sense and all that kind of stuff. The only thing that was funny was the African dancing dudes video. That one was funny, but all the other ones are just like random spam, just annoying stuff. So
is it because it auto corrects?
I'm not sure.
Abdabeast or AVDA, whatever. What is it? It's AVD. Wait, it's Abdabeast though, right? It's not Abda.
Technically,
I say always Abda for any reason.
Like,
yeah, but someone told me the other day. Someone said the other day that it's actually Abdabeast. It's not Abda.
Is it Abdabeast?
Yeah, it is, sadly, but don't call me that. Please don't call me that. I swear to God, no. God damn it. Nah, like all these freaking MFD people are gonna start calling me that shit. But no, so that was my original name. I'm super loyal, so I made that when I was like 10.
AB?
AB is my initials. Yeah, AB is my initials. So when I was in my 12-year-old brain, or whenever I made this name fucking forever ago, I'm like, my name is a beast, or whatever. Yeah. but I'm loyal to my name, so I stuck with it. So I stuck with it. But don't call me that. Just call me like Abda or AB or whatever. But also, when I was playing soccer, AB was my nickname. So.
I have my nickname from the beginning when I started that kind of games, and I never changed it. It's kind of like you cannot go back from your name.
Yeah,
Everyone is telling me also, Princess, when are you getting a queen? Yeah, maybe, but I cannot change my name. It's kind of, you know, everyone know you like this or something like that, and then it's just that it is your name. Okay, so we can still call you Abda, and it's fine, and not AB.
Yes. It's funny because I used to hate that when I was super little, but now it's like, okay, please call me that over that because I think my original name is cringe. But yeah.
Please call him Supreme King.
So let's I mean, that's dark, and he has some other names he likes to be called, but we don't do them here. So I mean, we have tomorrow is, by the way, live stream with Dark. So tomorrow we talk about the EIS new recruits. Oh, thank you, Queasy, for subscribe here. And guys, don't forget to drop a like here on the stream if you enjoyed the Yap time. We would appreciate it a lot. But let's talk a little bit about MFD. You already said you have some good recruits. So we right now at 21.5 billion power is right now, but that is probably not healed up, right? So what is the current power of MFD with the new recruits? What do you expect?
Yeah, so with the new recruits, we're expected to be around 22 to 23 bill. Paradise in chat can kind of fact check me because he's our data guy.
Yes.
But one of the most exciting recruits that we got is we were able to get Toxic back into the game. So Toxic and Stan are now with MFD, and
they're coming to the MFD. Okay, is that
so
confirmed?
you can look at the R2s. You can look at the R2s, and yeah. So there was like $6,000 worth of negative gems and everything on the account. That's now all wiped off, and you know, Toxic's account is
there is Toxic's account. I do not see it. Am I blind?
It should be in R2. It's renamed like Mad Max or something.
Oh, Mad Max. Let me check. Here it is. Okay, it's renamed. So so will Toxic play it by himself?
So he will play it with another person.
Okay,
so
yeah, sure. Okay.
Yeah.
But I still didn't get that. How did he had negative gems? How was that even possible?
So he refunded. He refunded like a shit ton of money.
Oh, I see.
So when you do that, you get negative gems, negative speed ups, negative resources, all that kind of stuff. So and that was around $5,000 to $6,000.
That is yeah, okay. That is kind of Dragons kind of rage quit and stuff like this. So okay, but so this is corrected. So this account can play. I mean, that will be a super powerful account, and who knows Toxic? Toxic is filling the bastions.
He's crazy. Yeah, he's
crazy.
Insane. Yeah, and actually a really funny story. MFD was founded on Toxic, which is really, really funny. So MFD's first season was because we left Pay to Win, which was Toxic's alliance. We said that we were going to leave, and then they tried zeroing us, and then we started MFD, and we were 3 billion power first season, and now we're up to 23 billion power 8 seasons later. Yeah.
That is sometimes crazy with the history. I mean, you also got T-Shaw, and T-Shaw has T-Shaw was a long time in here. I love him. He's a super good friend still from me. I was texting with him the whole day that I will miss him a lot, and he's really for pet advices. And he has a super good pet calculator. He will probably show you, and he's such a good friend.
Yeah, I'm super excited to have T-Shaw here for sure.
Absolutely. Is super, and he's also very caretaking about others when they have questions about pets and stuff. He's very, very helpful person.
Yeah, I think he has contributor role in the COD Discord. One of the the helper roles.
Yeah, because there he's doing something else. Yeah, absolutely.
Yep, for sure. But having Toxic here is like a really big deal because MFD's biggest issue at the moment is we don't have a lot of heavy hitters. So getting Stan, getting a couple of the other people that are coming is going to be a big deal.
I mean, you need some Krakens. You can always say activity is the key, but you need some Krakens who kind of throw in everything. You need that. Who don't care about anything.
And able to sustain for a long periods of time.
Yes.
As well. Like that's a big thing. Like when you look at EIS, Echo, WB, one of the biggest things with recruitment is like, are you able to stay on the field for sustained periods of time? Like if you're 100 million power and you're not able to resource heal a ton, you can be the best player in the game, but if you're not able to consistently field troops and stuff, you're going to struggle in the top KVKs when you're facing people that can. So we're starting to shift our focus. Like our old focus was getting good statistical players that have infantry. That was kind of our main focus. And then now is the first time where we're able to just start being super picky and being like, okay, now we can finally start focusing on recruiting people with over 20 million merits. And then hopefully next season we're like, okay, now we only want to recruit people that get over 25 million merits, and start kind of elevating the heavy hitters that we're able to recruit in MFD. So it's very satisfying to start doing that now.
Yeah, in my opinion, it is always kind of like the strategy, how you recruit. Some people get too high with requirements at some point and only require, only have big requirements, only top layers. In my opinion, that is not the way to go, because you can have some really, for example, we have some players. They are not the highest power, but the percentage-wise, they get merits due their, and they have farm accounts. They resource heal a lot, and they are helping a lot with their farm accounts as well. You know, destroying, building, whatever in farm accounts. That is a big value. Or someone who keeps, for example, who is there a little bit for socializing, keeps the communication up. You know, that is also kind of something you cannot measure it instead, or you cannot measure is the wrong word. It is, you cannot bring it over into numbers, but that's also an effect you have on an alliance, right?
Right, 100%, for sure.
So this is what you always have to keep in mind, and I think with 23 billion, you are in a good spot. Where do you expect is the cut for the A and B teams for the next season?
I'm not sure really how it'll work. I'm really not looking forward to next season. I think it's going to be really bad at the moment, like first glance seeing the map. I don't like the idea of not fighting on territory. The most fun I have in this game is fighting territory, attacking and defending our territory and enemy territory. If we're having to portal to other zones to help our B kingdoms fight, that sounds really boring, very demotivating, so we'll kind of see on that. But then also, it's like if the cutoffs are anything below 15 billion power, like how is the top KVKs gonna have any fun? Like MFD, we should easily be able to 1v2 anyone below 15 billion power. And if we can do it, imagine the WB, EIS, Echo KVKs. Like how are they gonna get allies that are even remotely useful? And then I just don't like the idea yet. So we'll kind of have to see what happens, but first glances, it looks really bad.
I mean, it's basically a 1 versus 1 between the two A teams.
I hate
probably,
that.
you know, and then the B team. I feel like the B teams are always they who are suffering. They have that strong A teams, and we all know the A teams. They have that maxed heroes. They are super powerful. They play super coordinated. So then the B teams fight each other, and an A team come to help, and then everything is destroyed. You know, I do not. Yeah.
In my opinion, it's only fun if B is like 20 billion power or something, because then it's like, oh shit, like WB needs to face over 40 billion power worth of alliances, and if you're 20 billion power, I mean, you should be able to get 130 people plus online for your peak time. Plus, if you're 20 billion power, you're capable of resource healing. Like then there could actually be some interesting fights. But if it's anything below 20 bill, it's just a complete steamroll because they're all T4. They don't have the amount of Krakens and whatever that's required to sustain against them, and it's just completely boring. So we'll kind of have to wait and see.
It will be a lot of
for
tactic,
example, MFD,
you know?
I would love to be a B seed.
Yeah.
Like the season that we were allied with Echo, like I would love to. I love punching upwards. I hate punching down. So
would you ally Echo again?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I loved working with them. I'd ally EIS, I'd ally WB, I'd ally pretty much everyone. As long as it's a fun fighting KVK. But yeah, I'm looking to punch upwards.
If you could ally.
Is there anyone I wouldn't ally? Well, BTX obviously. I guess TFS. I guess. But besides that,
who was the second TFS?
Yeah, TFS. So TFS, BTX. I don't think there's anyone else. I mean, Rage, but they're dead already. So I don't even think they're gonna be
if it would be the case, you would be a B team, and you could choose to ally Echo, EIS, or WB. Who would you choose?
It completely depends on the matchup and who we're fighting. I'm not allying to anything unless I'm convinced that we get.
But you have team up before, you know. You have to make the team up, and then you see the matchup. So
right, but you like diplomacy-wise, what we're supposed to do is be like, okay, if MFD joins EIS's side, who are we trying to match with? Okay, we're trying to match with Echo, but now we need to find an alliance for Echo to match that's as good as MFD, same power, same everything, so that we have the highest chance to match together. So I won't say like who I'd rather ally with. Like literally, I don't even have an opinion on that. I'd like to ally with all three kingdoms. My experience with Echo was positive, but the main thing for me is just having the best fights possible.
Gunther is asking, can you ask Abda if he would have given Dragon to RFF?
Maybe. I'm not sure.
Maybe.
Probably not. Probably not. But I did really like, besides the end, RFF, I only have positive things to say. There was a reason why I didn't mention their name a lot in this Yapcast. I still like them. I like their diplomats. They're very, very nice people. So I don't have a lot bad to say about them.
Yeah,
and they're very good fighters.
Paradise saying, I held it up. Anyone will be 20 billion or above. I think so as well. I think 20 billion is kind of the cut. And I mean, I will have that tomorrow a little bit with Doug in the live stream as well, when we will talk about, because now the tactic is coming. How do you build your team? Are you going full in and say, and there are the teams very different, how they build up their power. Do they kind of hold back recruiting to being not maybe we all know WB will be probably power-wise number one. WB is insane strong. And you have now two options when you are kind of in your situation like EIS or Echo or the close ones, right? Who are very close to the top. You recruit a lot of and kind of accept the challenge against WB, or you kind of don't recruit so much and kind of say, I want to be kind of in the second KVK, you know?
I highly doubt Dark wants to be in the second. I feel like whoever's in the second is going to be a really shit KVK, so I'm really interested to see that drama unfold between EIS and Echo, like who can make it to the top KVK, because it's going to be the same thing as what happened to you guys, where you guys fought like NA. Like it's kind of the same thing where BTX and Echo got their match, and then WB and Rage got their match versus WoW and TFS, and then you guys were kind of against NA. So it's literally going to be kind of the same thing, which whoever gets in that second KVK, it's like, you guys get a shitty KVK, so we'll see. But what I will say is, if you are in that KVK, that one season where, like, I think it was like ABB versus ABB or something, we basically gave like our enemies a couple of our allies to fight us in Final Zone. So like, I mean, that could be an option for the second KVK too. You could give them some of your Bs.
Yeah, that you kind of agree. Yeah, that kind of makes sense. Yeah. To make it a little bit more interesting. So I just think
that's probably going to happen. Yeah. But it worked out really well with us, so I would highly recommend that. Like, if your KVKs are super unbalanced, just give your enemies one of your Bs or two of your Bs, and then it should balance out pretty well.
So I have another question, because we will meet again, Abda, and I will tell you when. Let me put it up here real quick. Oh, I'm in EIK right now. Do I see it? But I should see them here. The schedule. We have a big match.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, we have the Roots of War League is around the corner. The players starting on Sunday, 15 UTC. We have a date with you, Abda.
Yeah, it is a date, but I think you guys might get pissed at MFD. Like, okay, so this whole Roots of War League thing, we've literally sent things out like 10 minutes prior to the match, because we were fighting all season and we're doing everything. So like, we've had literally zero time to do anything. Like, I'm sure EIS like war leaders have watched our match versus NXW and is like, bro, these guys are freaking dog shit. And it's completely true. Like, we literally did not plan anything. We straight up just went in. So, and then now we have to face EIS. So it's like, do we spend a lot of time, organizing our row team, or do we just get 10k points and next season we'll have a better row team?
Yeah, you can still stay longer. Don't dodge us.
Stay longer.
I mean, you can still show up and fight. It doesn't matter at the end. Have some fun.
We'll show up with 30 people and fight. Okay. But yeah, it's probably gonna be a steamroll. So yeah.
I mean, there we see us again. I mean, the most interesting match, in my opinion, here will be when we have to see here. I mean, it's probably, I mean, Echo and BTX can come against each other, or it depends how WAO, but I kind of expect we will here have Echo against BTX, and that will be a super interesting one as well here.
Yeah, I would say okay. So EIS steamrolls MFD. Obviously, I think Sleepy Eyes that's below us. That's on the right. Beats REC, and then Ekwon wins, I think, versus IL. Although that might be a decent match, but we'll kind of see. And then,
but it's Echo's third team, I think. It's the third team of Echo.
No, Echo 1 is their second team. That's also
second.
led by
Okay.
Sod
Yeah,
and Tempe.
okay.
Yeah, that's also led by Sod and Tempe. So that's
Okay.
they're a really solid team. WB versus NA. I haven't really watched WB. I feel like WB should be like insane at row, but they lost to who did they lose to? They lost to like some smaller team.
Yes, it was at one. I mean,
in the
it depends how they settle up now. I mean, NA is not bad. NA is not bad in Roots
I
of
heard
War.
NA is good.
Yes,
Yeah,
NA
I
is
heard
good.
NA is good. I haven't watched them.
The same like for
I've had like
NTS.
no time. And then, oh wait, I gotta look because your stream's on delay. Are you on the left side now?
Yeah, I just switch sometimes, but I cannot really put it over here. So
yeah, let's see. I forget who's on the left side.
Left side is FWY and Echo 2, and then we have OMG versus NTS. So
I haven't watched FWY either. Oh, they were the ones who beat WB. Yeah, that's interesting. So
yeah,
FWY would probably beat Echo 2 because Sod and Tempe aren't leading that. So I'd probably put FWY, and then OMG versus NTS is probably going to be a really great, really good match. I'm really excited for that. Echo steamrolls YSS, and then WoW versus BTX. BTX will probably win, but I haven't. Cap said that he wasn't able to go to the last match, so if the main leader is unable to be to the row match, I mean that's like a really big deal. So I don't think we've seen WoW at their peak, so BTX WoW match should be another one to look at. But
I mean,
BTX,
I would definitely say the left side. I would definitely say left side is the stronger side. What did you say, Wahid?
By far, yeah.
What did you say, Wahid?
Is it true that he was at a pumpkin patch?
Wait,
the captain, he didn't show to row because he had to go to a pumpkin patch?
I think so. I think it's something like that. Yeah.
Oh, with the pumpkin farm when he was kind of like, oh, Dad did this one when he was. Yeah, I have to ask Captain that. I mean, one time he agreed, came to the Yapcast as well. We have to mark that with the pumpkin gathering.
Pumpkin patch.
Yeah, I think it was either that or he just didn't wake up. I don't remember.
Yeah, I mean,
patch, though.
left side is definitely the stronger part. I have to agree.
It is.
So EIS was a little bit more lucky on the right side. So I think, and I mean, top 4 gets the skin. It will be super interesting Roots of War League, but it will be super interesting after Roots of War League because a lot of people don't move now because they want the Roots of War League rewards. Even if you want just the normal rewards, even if it's only the frame or only the, you cannot leave your alliance. So the recruiting will be getting super interesting after Roots of War League.
Yeah, no, that's for sure. And a lot of these top teams like EIS, Echo, like you guys probably already have secondary teams, third teams, but that's a really big thing that, these top alliances will have to focus on going forward.
Yes.
Because in Rise of Kingdoms, like for example, 60GT, which is the biggest kingdom in Rise of Kingdoms, their main team literally lost. And then their second team beat the people that beat them, and then their second team won the whole thing.
Okay.
So it's crazy. So people are going to have to be working on their second teams hard, maybe their third teams. And then also it comes into kind of like a practice thing where you can move people up from your second team to your main team if they perform better. So yeah, it's all those things. So Roots of War League, now that it's here, it's a really good thing for the community. And it should be more competitive, especially the next one. But yeah,
when people set up better. Now it's the first time and people kind of tried their best. I feel like we had the big advantage that our Roots of War was taken very early, very serious. We worked since the beginning of the year. Colleague was making the strategies and everything. So we were prepared. I have to say that for EIS, we were just prepared very good. We had that server change when we had to restart a new server with losing all the dead weight. And that were the point we really focused Roots of War. So we had the big advantage to other teams that we already have that concept, Everything is, everyone knows to do what their job is. And I feel like it is kind of like, it is not only about power. In my opinion, sure, you need a decent amount of power, but at the end, in my opinion, a Roots of War League wins who has the best coordination. When the people need,
that's true.
You cannot, a single person have to run out of line and not doing the job.
Yeah, so it's a little bit of two things. One is running out of troops is a real issue.
Yes.
For example, like if MFD wanted to compete with EIS, which this is like another reason why EIS is we literally would have to resource heal.
Yeah.
We'd have to resource heal a shit ton to even consider beating EIS, so that's one thing. So like troops are a big thing, but yes, IQ, game sense, all that is very, very important, and especially for upcoming. Like that's why Roots of War will become more competitive the longer it goes on. Not only because people will be able to come up with new strategies, new metas, all that kind of stuff, but also when you look at all of these teams that didn't make it to top 16, 90% of them lost because of a power difference, not because of a competitive issue.
And it was boring.
Complete power
If we are honest,
yeah,
it was a long time super boring. You had that all the weak teams, and you had to be lucky when they show up. And I feel sometimes sorry for them as well. It was not fun either. But I think like, and you spoke about resource healing. In my opinion, if you are on a main team, if you are here, want to be in the playoffs, if you want to really compete, yeah, I mean that is the if you want to really say go for the skin, a resource heal is a must. You have not. So for me, example, I can just talk about me. I didn't need to resource heal yet in a Roots of War. I would expect maybe in an Echo one, because they have the same amount of calves and stuff like that. It would be possible, but I would just click the resource heal button. I mean, that is what we all agreed. All our main players press the resource heal button no matter what. We don't run out of troops.
Totally, 100%. Yeah.
But we are aiming for really we want to have a good performance. So we are really aiming for the top here.
Well, the good news is Roots of War League will be getting super competitive, especially in a year from now, for example. Since we don't take deads anymore because they're practically free. That means all of our accounts are going to be gaining a shit ton of power, and there's not really going to be such thing as power diffing anymore. Besides, your pets, your garrisons and stuff, but there won't really be a huge issue of running out of troops. So even in the top 64 teams, in a year from now, every single match, it's going to be at least a match instead of just, wasting your complete time. So it'll be very exciting when that comes. Because, for example, like NXW that we beat, we literally joined voice chat 10 minutes prior. We did no planning. We just showed up. And we beat them, but they were very coordinated too. Like they were a very coordinated alliance. They just didn't have any calves. They didn't have good garrisons. They didn't have enough troops. They ran out of troops as well. Like so there'll be a lot of good teams, good competition in a year.
Dark saying here in a year from now we will have equipment for pets and heroes.
Oh god, Dark, fuck you, bro. Stop saying that. Dubs are watching, bro.
Yeah, Paradise is saying he loves Roots of War, so he can maybe bring MFD there then more ahead. So we will definitely see us on Sunday. And maybe one more thing, we talked about that a little bit earlier before we end the Yapcast today. You have another anniversary soon, which is kind of related to Call of Dragons, but you can maybe tell us.
Yeah. So me and Kolka have been dating for almost a year. So November 17th that comes up, which is kind of funny. So.
Isn't that cute? Congrats. That's cute.
He's so nice.
Yeah, so it should be a really good time. So I'm looking forward.
And here we can say, guys, when everyone's saying about online relationships, what they want, Abda and Gorka are the example. I mean, and you are from 2 different countries, when I remember correct, right?
Yes.
Canada and US, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's not easy, but if you meet the right person, then it's worth it.
And
it's so inspirational.
Yeah, and so people cannot say it's not possible getting on a relationship, because we have here a perfect example, and I know from Rock and others there are a lot of couples built and people married after that. So, I mean, that is.
We had multiple couples in MFD. We still do. So one of them literally met on COD on the first day of downloading the game.
They did.
And they've been together this whole time for like 3 years. They met in beta actually, which was funny. They met in the beta. And then they've been together. We love them. They've been in MFD the whole time. But then we also had another. Well, actually, you guys know them. Freaking Shazam, right? Who was in EIS? That guy with Bunny was his.
Adam, right?
Wife? Bunny, I know. Yes. Who?
Black Adam.
Wahid, who do you mean?
Darkhill probably knows. Darkhill.
Shazam. It was Black Adam.
Shazam. Yeah, Black Adam.
Black Adam. Yeah, Black Adam. So when I joined EIS, Black Adam was kicked with his account, but he was still hanging out in the public voice, and then I was sometimes talking to him. And I also met his girlfriend. She was playing, and is she playing still in MFD?
She was in MFD. Yeah, she was in MFD. She quit because they got married, and then they had a kid. So she was she was taking care of the kid. Yeah. So and then she ended up quitting, which is sad, but. I mean, that's another example. They met in Rise of Kingdoms, so it was really funny.
Oh, Humble is here
Yes.
announcing Dark and Wahid are getting married. Princess Maid of
Oh,
Honor,
I
Josh,
didn't
Josh
know
our best man.
I'll
Now we need some.
I'll officiate it.
And then we have Astonish being the flower kid. You know, the kids who throw the flowers in the wedding
Yeah.
chapel.
Wait, Humble
Astonish
Pie
would
can
not
be
be
the flower
invited
girl.
to my wedding.
But I mean, that is kind of cool, you know, that also brings Call of Dragons, and that we have sometimes forget about all drama. I mean, drama is cool, we talk about it, we love to yap about it. But at the end, I sometimes think we can still have that drama in between, but overall, we are still all people loving that game, meeting here, creating friendships, relationships, whatever. So it's kind of cool. And I feel like Call of Dragons is a game, but maybe one more question to you and Quarka. Is it like she joined MFD and that's how you met her, or how did that all start with you? Now we want the tea.
Yeah. So I quit the game 2 years ago, like I think December or something, and then I took like a 3-month break. Then I came back, and I was in pay to win, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna start my own alliance. So one of my recruitment advice to all the leaders out there is look for people who are very active in the community, because when you see people with your alliance tag and whatever in the community, you know, that will draw a lot of people to your alliance and make your alliance known. And especially if you're just starting out, you kind of want a little bit of publicity. It doesn't need to be a ton, but as long as people recognize the name. So Coco was like just super active in COD Discord and everything. Gohan as well, like he was super active. So I started messaging these people to join our group and stuff, and Quokka just like instantly said, yes, I'm coming. I'm like, okay. Like we barely knew each other. She was just like, sure, I'm coming. And then she joined MFD, and then yeah, I don't know, we were just strictly friends for a while. I think she joined back in March or something, and then yeah, in November she like was like, why can't we like try this? I'm like, I didn't provide a good reason, so then I'm like, okay, fine, we can talk. And then we talked, and then it kind of spiraled from there. And then yeah, our 1 year's coming up, so it's crazy.
Oh, that's cute.
It is super cute.
Yeah.
So I mean.
So and then also my when I was in Toronto last, which was like 2 weeks ago, she met my parents, so we went to Quebec together, and we had a really, really good time, and she met my parents for the first time, and yeah, everything went well. So
crazy.
Yep.
I mean, it is really that something like this, and it's going really in a real life relationship. It works out, and it shows also that it can work out, and that is why definitely I think that is really an example. You met each other, you met your parents already, and you're celebrating the anniversary. My congratulations. And if something like this comes out of in a game, I mean, that is probably the best thing what can ever happen to you in life, right? So much more
100%.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm very grateful for meeting her. Absolutely.
Dark, when are you meeting Ryan's parents?
God.
Oh, Dark is mad. Princess, if you ignore the next comment, I will kick you.
Dark.
Dark, chill, Dark. I cannot read all the comments. There are so many comments here.
God dang, Dark.
Crazy.
Oh, did you see that?
I mean, there is that.
See, this is why Dark and I wouldn't work out, is because of the no penguins. You gotta like penguins. Like that's it's the breaking point.
He has conditions that he has with penguins.
No penguins.
Under condition.
Yeah, no penguins.
And then he said, yeah, you can have it with penguins, but 100K.
Well, no.
Calm down, Dark. Calm down. We need Enro.
Calm down.
Calm down. Calm down. I mean, yeah, so what can Abda talk about Greyball's gems?
Okay, so Greyballs loves trolling a lot.
Yes.
So he made a recruitment post the other day where he basically put like every single top player's pets. So he has like freaking 5 fully maxed moon bears that are different moon bears on there. He put an account with like 4 million gems and stuff, just like trolling, trying to get people to message him recruitment stuff. So
Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
Gray is hilarious. He's a part of MFD leadership. What's actually funny is Gray's been with me for freaking like 2 years. Same with you, but yeah, no, I've known Gray for a very long time.
Jeez.
Yeah, and I mean that is the other thing here with the, when Guoka got blackmailed and stuff like this. I do hope that never happens again. I mean, blackmailing should not be happening in that kind of games. That is, I mean, you were probably worried about her as well, right, when that happened?
Yeah, yeah, but I mean, it's like, what do you expect? Like, people online are just weird, so it's like nothing surprises me and her when it comes to crazy shit like that.
I mean, she was, I mean, I always said, Guoka, she was before you in the Yapcast, right? I told her, let's get the girl first. Girls first, and Abda can be second.
No, I was cheering her on that podcast,
Yeah. And I mean, it is sometimes rough, but getting blackmailed about personal details and doxing is kind of crazy. So
yeah, it is, but it's also a part of the reality of some people are that crazy. So kind of it's kind of what you sign up for at the same time. Like, it's very like messed up and stuff, but yeah, some people are crazy.
Yeah. So I mean, oh, Guoka saying she's saying there is no blackmail.
Yeah, I was gonna say I wasn't aware of a blackmail situation with her specifically, but there's been a lot of dudes that like threaten her, like, "Oh, I'm gonna dox you," and blah 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 blah.
I mean, for sure, she's a girl. She's the official female main Discord moderator. So I can.
It is really funny how some people like actually hate her for doing her job. I find it really funny.
Yeah, I'm not going down that rabbit hole, Princess. You're welcome to.
No.
Princess opened the door of the blackmail thing. I'm like, I wasn't gonna touch that.
I don't want to touch it either. Like, just skip it.
You already touched it.
Oh my god. Princess said if she was invited, I would be her +1, right, Princess? I mean, I still owe Jay something from a lost bet, but I have to figure that out with him. It's just kind of like my real life got a little bit stressful in the last weeks as well. So everything went a little bit down. I had really no time for YouTube or anything, and there will only be a few Yapcasts here what I can deliver. Sometimes it's just, I mean, Abda know that for YouTube, you know, how time intense that sometimes is. So you have to play in the biggest KVK, Dragon Zone. You have a real life, you have a YouTube. It's sometimes you cannot keep up, right?
A lot. I don't know how you do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, mad props to Princess, because I definitely failed at
yeah, but Abda, like, I think your problem is your perfection. I mean, when you put out a video, your video quality is kind of like, it is, you cannot even imagine. It's 200 million thousand percentage in perfection. And it's super cool to watch. But I mean, the amount of time he puts in, if I would do this, but I do less videos because for me, streaming is easy. You know, I make on the stream. That's even already sometimes a little bit overwhelming for me. But videos is a lot of time. So that's why sometimes no videos come. And I do that for fun. I'm not a full-time content creator. And it is the same for you, Abda. So, you know, when we do content, we do it. When not. So it's not a must. So.
Yeah, well, recently, especially like within the last couple months, I've just been so busy with everything, so I've just had no time. But the main thing, like, if I'm posting a video, I want to look back at it a year from now and be like, I still love watching this video.
Yes.
What's really funny is with a lot of my videos, I'll just randomly just watch them over again and be like, oh my god, I made that. Like, that's sick. So if I make a video where it's not like that, then I don't want to upload it. So.
Yes. Yeah, we have one YouTuber in EIS as well. He is barely yours, and he's making so cool videos as well. He has so cool cutting skills and everything. You know, he kind of make the music perfect and how it slides over to each other, and I love that.
Yep.
But I have not a talent for that. I think though you have to do what makes you fun and what you're talented. And I think my talent is a little bit in communication, in talking, and yapping. So we do Yapcast.
No, your Yapcasts are very, very entertaining. So you guys do a great job.
Yeah, I mean, that is, you know, and we have fun on it. It is my free time, so I want to have at least some fun in it, inviting me, enjoy it. So it's kind of like, So let me check here the chat.
Yeah.
So is there anything else, Abda, you want to say at the end before we kind of I pulled up your stats also again. I mean, I have nothing to say about 2 million deaths and whatever and 1.4 billion kills. These are really, really good stats. That shows also you're a super active player. Additionally, you're a YouTuber. And we have to say is MFD existing since season 2 or 1 plus?
No, so we've been existing since last year. No, wait.
Oh, only
yeah, last year March.
Okay, so 1.5 years.
Last year March. Yeah, so 1.5 years. A little more than that. SOS1, Paradise said. Yeah, so we've existed there.
Is Paradise there from the beginning?
So he came a season after. So our first season, we did a 1v8 in one. And then that's when Paradise and some of his group came over at the beginning. And since there, I mean, Paradise and his group, but then the existing people that we had, that's basically been our core group up until now. So like him, Hyper that you have pulled up, Gray, Sailor who's on the top left, Roboto came as well. Like all those people are just core MFD people. So I'm very happy and lucky that I was able to meet those people, and we've made a lot of really fun memories, competed really hard, and there's going to be a lot more of that in the future too.
EXP Mobile has another question, one more question for Abda. Expectations if they are in the same KVK again with BTX?
I think the chances of that are probably pretty low unless they grab really weak B kingdoms. I don't really know what the structure is going to be, but I mean, like, we're down to fight BTX for sure, especially if we're full healed. We have elixirs and stuff like that. But for example, in Final Zone, we tried our best, but we straight up had 0 elixirs, no resources. So we got drained just pretty much instantly. So we were only able to fight for like 24 hours. But yeah, no, we're down to fight anyone for sure.
Okay. And I think you have really a solid off-road team. I think with Paradise and Co, you have there a really strong team, and that is really what you need. I mean,
yes, I'm very grateful for all of them. They're all great. One big plus about MFD is the amount of depth that we have when it comes to officers, when it comes to kind of our leading structure. It's very good. We all work very well together, and
the community. Season. I think MFD has kind of like EIS. Have a real community behind, and that kind of.
Yes.
So, for example, I had it today with Dark. Even if EIS would, if people would leave us, we would drop down to 10 billion. I would still play in EIS because there are my friends. Right. This is my community. I would not care. Do I love to play the big KVKs? For sure, I love it. When we are now the big KVKs, that's fun. That's a super challenge. But if we drop the power, I would still be loyal to my family and stay there, even if we would play lower KVKs, because the community is just what holds you in the game.
Totally, 100%. And if you have good leadership as well, you don't need to worry about anything. Like, if EIS were to lose 5 seasons in a row, EIS is going nowhere if your leadership is there. And it's the same case with MFD. Like, betraying is a really big deal. Alliances that have betrayed before and then had internal drama, those alliances always collapse. But if we don't have any internal drama and everyone's on the same page, and if there are issues, we hash them out, and we acknowledge that we're friends and stuff, then there won't ever be any issues. People can leave and stuff, but as long as we have good leadership, there will always be recruitment coming in, no matter what. So that's what's most important.
Absolutely.
Yep. So and that's the case in every single game.
Yes.
In every single game.
It is.
And that's why MFD is slow built as well. Like, we could have been freaking the top alliance 5 seasons ago. Like, with our recruitment, there's one point where we had like 8 to 10 billion power worth of recruits wanting to come in, but every single season we grow between 2 to 4 bill, and we do that because when we're stepping up into the next power bracket, we want to make sure that we're not getting there too soon until we're ready, until our war strats are figured out, until we make sure that our war leaders are mentored and know enough, until people understand what our defense strats are, what our offense strats are, making sure that people are preparing their accounts in the ways that we want so that they're fighting as efficient as possible. Like, all those things contribute to a good alliance, and that's why you really want to slow build and take it slow instead of going fast, because if you're merging, if you're trying to recruit as much as possible just to be power hungry, it's never going to work. So
I do agree. It was really, and if you have a good community, if you have good vibes, you can win, you can lose together. You know, it is really, it doesn't matter what is the results of the KVKs. If you have a good, loyal community who holds together and playing other games together in Home Kingdom and stuff like this, and then you are just so connected. And that is, in my opinion, what is kind of also a secret of EIS and as you say, of MFT
100%.
as well. Build it up slowly and don't rush too much.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
So Wahid, do you have one last question or an up there, or did we ask all our questions?
Thing that we had.
So yeah, and the penguin wedding, we talking in another Yapcast. I think we are already close to 2 hours. I think that we say a big thanks to Abdabeast.
Oh God. Oh no.
Thank you,
Polka's here now too. No.
Oh,
Okay.
it was. Thank you for having you here, showing your perspective, guys. We get the different perspective from the BTX side, who was kind of betrayed in that KVK on Monday in a Yapcast. Just keep an eye. I think the time will be probably 18 UTC or something like that as well. Tomorrow we have a live stream with Dark where we go over all the new recruits in EIS. We will figure out what did EIS make win the season, and some more spicy stuff. So Dark will be tomorrow with me in a live stream. So yes, yeah. Kwoka saying, "Holy yap, this podcast is almost 2 hours." Yeah, we were talking so much, Abda. So anything else left you have to say at the end, Abda?
I don't think so. I just love everyone in MFD, and you know, very grateful for all of the wonderful people that are there, and shout out to Kwoka on our 1-year anniversary.
Oh, that's cute.
Cute.
So thanks for having you guys. Don't forget to drop a like here on the stream, subscribe to the channel, turn on the bell notification, then you know when we are going live again. Everyone have a great day, night, evening, whatever is your time zone, and see you soon again. Happy gaming and much love till the next Yap time. Bye bye.